Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another educational podcast for Embers and Insights. I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
And today we're going to discuss what is a Maduro wrapper. Maduro in Spanish means ripe or mature. So when there's a wrapper that is, I would say more, if you're going to go from the mature side, there's probably a lot of aging to it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
definitely.
I can't put like a number on it or pinpoint it, but it's probably going to be aging for, I'm going to guess 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extra time to get some extra fermentation in there and allow the leaves to undergo a process to help change and develop the color.
Mm-hmm. So with Maduro, so today we're actually smoking 2 cigars that have Maduro wrappers on them. What are you smoking?
So I got the Crown Heads Mil Diaz Maduro going right now. It's smoking great.
Yep. And I'm smoking the Bellas Artist by AJ Fernandez, the box press Brazil Maduro.
Nice.
And I do believe that most Maduros are made with Brazilian tobacco. They're made with Connecticut broadleaf tobacco and Mexican San Andreas tobacco, right?
Yes, those are the typical Maduro wrappers you'll find.
Yeah, there's some rare ones out there. Like one of my favorite cigars, probably top 10 all time, is the Oscar Valadares Wild Hunter.
Yeah.
And it's a Honduran Puro, and it's full body, but it doesn't feel full bodied, if that makes sense. So I'm wondering if the Maduro wrapper varietal that's on there, right? Is that the right word? I can't speak. But the variation of the Maduro wrapper on there kind of like not softens the blow, but kind of just like, tames it a bit, balances it out is a perfect word.
Yeah, I think that probably is what does it, since it's a Honduran Puro. I think that Maduro wrapper on there probably helps just balance the overall strength of it, so it's not really kicking your ass the whole time you're smoking it, and you get to enjoy it and enjoy the complexity of flavors. Yeah,
it's I didn't realize how many cigars utilize like Maduro in them, even like if it's a shade, Maduro shade, or because there's Connecticut wrappers, Connecticut shade, the difference in that. What is the difference between a shade and like a full-on like Maduro wrapper?
I think it's just more so of the process that the leaves undergo before they're being ready to be wrapped by the rollers. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing as far as I know. I mean, some people just refer to all dark cigars as Maduros, and that's not always the case. Like you said, I mean, it could be a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, but that is technically a Maduro in some people's books. So it's a very broad term, I would say.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No. It is a very broad term. And it's just, I feel like you can look at a cigar and I can tell. I think I can. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm an expert, but I think I can tell the difference between a Maduro wrap cigar and like a Connecticut broadleaf cigar and Mexican San Andreas, because I feel like Mexican San Andreas and broadleaf are a little bit more oily. Yep. There's like a shine on it almost.
Yeah. You see some of that. You see some toothiness a little bit on some of that. If our viewers don't know what toothiness is, it's kind of looks like there's spikes on the cigar almost, on the wrapper of the cigar almost.
It's gonna bite you.
Yeah, it's gonna come out and get you like a vampire.
I will say there are some there are some terms in the cigar industry that make me scratch my head, especially when I'm writing or anything. If I'm doing my research on a cigar and they say, has a taste of like, hay. Like how do you know what hay tastes like? Or fresh cut grass. Like, what are you out there? Like, you're, eating in the fields and shit? Like, I don't know. It's just so interesting.
On the farm with the horse, being a lawnmower out there.
Yeah, no, I just don't get it. I just don't,
Yeah,
it's
there's definitely some flavor notes that are a little odd that people put out there that I don't technically pick up, and I don't know how they're getting to these conclusions.
I mean, when there's some notes like citrus,
yes,
zest, that's okay. I can pinpoint that immediately. Mm-hmm. But shit, man, like, yeah, but the toothiness, I mean, ever since I discovered that, I'm now a little more aware of like, oh wow, this cigar is toothy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. And it's more of a visual aspect of the cigar.
Yes,
the toothy part, the toothiness, or
it doesn't really affect the smoking experience, right?
No,
I don't think it does. I don't think it does at all. how are Maduro cigar wrappers made? It was I guess in the old world, Maduro wrappers would exclusively be harvested from the top of the plant, where the top of the plant is getting the most exposure to sun.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the ripeness comes from when you're talking about that, right?
Yeah, and that results in, a thicker and a darker wrapper.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that they've kind of still kept to that method with certain things, but I feel like Maduro is really made in the fermenting and the curing process.
Yes.
Which is a whole other video for us to do later on down the road, because fermenting and curing process in barns is absolutely insane. I've only been able to go to one tobacco field where they were actually displaying how to curate and ferment tobacco, and they had people up top kind of moving it around.
Yeah.
But they'll open the top of the barn and have the sun directly hit, and like in the summertime, especially up here, it gets hot. It gets hot everywhere, but up here in the summer has been kind of brutal lately.
Oh yeah.
So in Connecticut, it's still hot up there. It's still, I can't imagine how Nicaragua is like all year round. So they're cooking themselves, honestly, while they're in the barn and all that. Yeah. So, but no, that's basically how Maduro, the ripeness or the maturity, of what Maduro means in Spanish. It all makes sense because of the top of the leaf. And basically he's cooking, right?
Yeah, it's getting just roasted out there. It's getting roasted out there.
So in your opinion, what do Maduro cigar wrappers taste like? What kind of flavor notes? Because before you answer, sorry, and after you done throwing ash at me.
Yeah, I'm just launching ashes across the table. Everything's going good today.
Today's a mess. No. So for new cigar smokers, go ahead, just make it. Yeah, right on my jeans. There we go. Perfect. Oh. It's like Abbott Costello, just the worst.
The ash, man. It's all good.
Share the ash.
Perfect. Your cigar while you're at it.
Here,
share that too. Hey, all right.
There we go.
All right, perfect.
But no.
So what does Maduro wrappers taste like?
Yeah, but for the new cigar smokers out there, you get most of your flavor from the wrapper. The binder and filler tobacco do play a big part in it, but I feel like the flavor notes, when you're able to detect them when you've been smoking for a while, you're going to get all the flavors right from the wrapper. So it depends on, I guess, how mature the leaf has been. Like for the Bellis Artis, most Maduro wrappers are, what would you say? What flavor profile? What would you say?
Oh, I'd say, so I typically pick up, a bit of chocolate, sometimes coffee notes. I am a big proponent of retrohaling. I almost do it naturally these days, so I do get a lot of pepper when I'm smoking Maduro wrapped cigars.
So I'm not getting a lot of pepper from this. So I'm wondering of how mature this wrapper is. What about like for the crown, like for the Mil Dios Maduro? What are you? Because I know you're having coffee with it. I'm having coffee with mine. Are you retrohaling? Are you getting a lot of spice or not really?
I'm not getting too much spice, but I have had this one aged for some time. Maybe even over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
He has a crazy cigar stash. How long do you what do you think is the longest, or one of the cigars in there that has probably aged the most? You don't have to say the cigar, but like how many years you think? It's like since you started?
I mean, yeah, since I started back in 2017, I probably have. I know I definitely have. I don't want to speak on what vendor, but I have a box from a vendor that I got that's still aging in my humidor that I just
at your desk or at home?
At home.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I need to just get a standing tower humidor because I have like three full humidors at home. It's
why don't you get like a Pelican case
or that?
Yeah,
or a Pelican case. Go with classic Tupperware.
If you want to stick that big ass humidor in your book bag and bring it home, you can.
You have no need for it anymore.
No, we do. It's a good prop.
I'll take it if you don't need it.
But no, I mean, yeah. So like, I feel like the more it sits, the more it's aged. The more it's humidified properly. I don't think you're gonna be able to taste it more. It's not gonna be like a big punch in your face with like how spicy it could be.
Yeah, I still am picking up bits of pepper, but they do say that flavors change as cigars age. The strength is one of the things they say that kind of goes away. And just, the entire flavor profile of a cigar may change, and some most for the better, but it definitely loses some strength there. And, you know, a big common misconception with Maduro cigars is that people think that they're going to be super strong. I know before I even started in the industry, I thought the darker the cigar, the stronger the cigar. Like,
Yeah.
This is a really, really dark cigar. It's going to kick my ass. But like you were saying about the Wild Hunter,
Yeah.
it's not, you know, it's really not. Granted, it's a medium full cigar, so it may be strong for a person smoking for their first time, but it's not going to make you sick or, you know, get dizzy and, you know, have to go running for some sugar to calm that nicotine sickness.
So on the flip side of like the Oscar Valdez Wild Hunter, on the flip side of something that might kick your ass is the Ashen Age Maduro.
Yeah, with that Connecticut broadleaf on there.
Yeah, Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper. Although it's known to be more mellow, medium bodied. I feel like tobaccos from the DR. I think they give it that oomph, if that makes sense. And Connecticut broadleaf, most Connecticut broadleafs I've had, will say, extremely flavorful for one, and two, you gotta like have some. For me personally, I'm not speaking on everyone, obviously. You gotta have a little sugar with it, coffee. You can't just straight like smoke it and have it, with like a whiskey or with like a alcoholic beverage. I feel like you need some counterbalance here.
Definitely, definitely with that one.
Man, this cigar's smoking really good.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites from AJ as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't really, it's really not much to talk about when it comes to Maduro. I feel like we've explained a lot of it. Would you say Maduro wrappers, would you say they're geared towards beginner cigar smokers, moderate cigar smokers, seasoned cigar smokers? Would you where would you put if let's say if our good videographer over here who's never smoked a cigar, if he wanted a Maduro cigar, would we recommend it to him? Would you, what would you do in your opinion? Or what do you think it's? What am I trying to say? I mean, do you think it's for a beginner cigar smoker, or work your way up to it?
I would say don't be scared if you're a novice to try a Maduro cigar. Don't be thinking that it's going to get you sick. As we've mentioned in some other videos, it may be best to start with a Connecticut wrapped cigar, something on the lighter, more mild side. But, if you're looking to venture out and try a Maduro cigar, I definitely would recommend it. Maybe go and try Wild Hunter. This Mil Diaz isn't crazy strong, but it is on the more medium full side. But I wouldn't say for a first-time smoker to be scared of Maduro wrappers. Just kind of do a little bit of research before to see the strength, to see the components of it. But as you smoke and continue to learn the different components of the cigars that you like, the fillers, the binders, the wrappers that you like, you'll probably decide whether you like Maduros or Connecticut's better. I mean, I'm not the biggest Connecticut fan. I'll have a Connecticut every once in a while in the morning, but more. Excuse me. More.
The Maduro's kicking his ass.
Yeah,
don't
right.
worry.
It's not strong as I'm stuttering over here, but the Maduro wrapper cigars are typically the ones that I'll go for now these days. And I think that holds true for most people that we have on our team.
Yeah, man. I mean,
there's people that like Connecticut's and love Connecticut's and will smoke them all day, but for myself, I just love a Maduro wrapped cigar.
Yeah, I would be interested to see, someone who's really new to cigar smoking, who's never smoked. I would love to give them a Maduro cigar and see how long they would last. But I would just take a few puffs and see, is it too much for them? Because I think it's more so of I want to see how my palate has developed.
Yeah.
Because right now this is not kicking my ass. Darker cigars, I've said 1,000 times, I try not to smoke darker cigars in the summertime because I'll just get overheated and all that. But this is a perfect cigar for spring, end of winter, spring. If you're smoking outside, 50-degree day, these are perfect for it. But I would just love to see a new person who wants to smoke, but try a darker cigar. But if they feel it kind of coming on, all right, stop, because we don't need you to get sick,
you don't want to get sick.
But no, it would just be interesting to see how our palate has developed over time, so.
Yeah, speaking on that, one of the first cigars that ever had that I was not tricked into trying, I want to say, but wound up smoking and it kind of got me sick was the Plasencia Almafuerte. And I believe that is a Maduro wrapped cigar as well. It's super strong, and it was the hexagon size, so the 6x60, but it's that crazy hexagon size that they have there. But that one really had me spinning and going for some chocolate.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, Plasencia, I smoked earlier, I think they're Cosecha. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Cosecha, the 149 or the 151?
The 149, that one. Okay. That one was a little like, whew, like what kind of woke me up a bit. So, but yeah, guys, that's kind of Cliff Note version of what is a Maduro wrapper. Go please check out the full-length blog on our website where we have more in-depth information about Maduro wrappers, some cigar suggestions as well. Once again, I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
And thank you guys for watching the Embers and Insights podcast.